Well, Dan, how's it going?
How'd you get into my house? It's going wonderful, Jeff. It's good to see you again after, well, technically, on the channel, it's been 10 years.
It's been closer to 3.
Oh, was it 3?
Yeah, podcast upgrade, if you remember, the Gaming Corner podcast. That was our last time on the channel together. It was episode 12 of the Gaming Corner podcast.
Right.
Which I still find it hard to believe that was nearly 4 years ago.
We could have done more. I think we could have done more.
We should have done more.
Yeah, the problem is you were the rallying force, and you had your own things to run, and then there was the kids.
I think it was mostly like a work schedule conflict. Like our group started to have, especially when Adam got his job.
Oh gosh,
that's when things started to really go off the rails. But that's all right. Like I say in the intro, we've all gotten busy with our jobs and our families, our responsibilities, and that's been a good thing. But here we are, closing out the Volatile Upgrade channel.
Don't break my heart, Jeff. Now I need to make a new channel, just so we have some.
You've got one.
Technically, I do.
And we'll talk about that a little later, but...
I gotta invest more in it. I've really been putting it off to the side. But, like everyone's been saying, jobs have been getting busy, so...
That's right, yeah. Yeah, we're busy adulting.
Oh, God. To think we're adults. When we started this channel, we had to get permission from our moms in order to go see each other do recordings.
Dude, like... The first recording that we ever did together was on graduation night for you from high school. But we'll get to that in just a second. First, I want to reintroduce you for the people that may not remember or maybe are tuning in for the first time. Sorry you missed us.
Don't worry, you can still watch the reruns.
That's right. There's nearly 600 videos on the channel for you to watch.
Oh, God.
Can you believe that? 600 videos? And of those series, you made your debut in the second one. You are a founding member of Volatile Upgrade.
I found something. Wow.
You found Volatile Upgrade, and now it's gone.
Guys, I found it!
And it's gone.
We can put it back together.
Do you remember what our first series together was?
My brain is saying Vex.
Your brain would be correct.
Oh, gosh. I was like, we should really do Vex, because Vex was it's a game that had a lot of interesting ideas, and it was just an older style game, so it had some of the older puzzle solving, and it was very creative about how it did things. Compared to, Mario had the same feel, but at the same time, I feel Vex was a little more unhinged.
Yeah, I feel like Vex tried to go for a little bit more of like the teenage demographic.
Right.
The slogan on the back of the box, if you remember, is...
no.
To hell with the princess, save the world.
Oh. I didn't know that was on the back of the box.
It sure was.
Gosh, I would have thought it was something like it's Slash in Time, just because of how games are these days. Oh...
But yeah, that was our second ever series on the channel, and you got to host that one. What do you have any memories from that first Let's Play?
Memories from the first Let's Play?
That was 10 years ago at this point.
I think my memory of that was at the time was, oh good, we get to make more of these. I think you could probably hear it, too, in the recording session of just me being like, oh, wait till you get this part. Wait till you get to this part. I'm so excited to play through that rather than be like, the good old-fashioned bottle at the sailing ship and just be like, it's christened, celebrate. No, I was more of just like, well, where does the ship go from here?
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I was very excited for.
But that was good. I mean, like, for a Let's Play sort of thing, like, commentary is obviously very important. So that definitely came in handy.
Oh, yeah.
There was one part from the game that I remember very fondly. It was one of the puzzles where you actually needed the manual of the game to solve it.
It was in the back of the manual and it said, this is a hint for you. And literally, on the heart, how good's the editing? Can I actually say something and it'll appear in...
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. I'm just asking. Because there is a part where if you look at the heart for that mission and read the riddle, I was very explicit about, you need to read this riddle because this is so cool. And it basically states, like, you need to look in the book for help. And we actually showed you. I don't know if you put a picture up.
No,
you didn't. You could probably find it.
Yeah, definitely.
But
probably.
Vex isn't the most popular thing, so.
But the point of it is there was a hint in the back of the manual to solve that puzzle, and that was pretty cool. Actually, there's one thing that I remember more fondly than that.
Oh no!
Do you remember that level where you needed to invert the stage upside down and then platform?
Oh, was it timed platforming? Or
yes, it was. It was timed platforming.
Oh, what area was it? Give me a vibe.
I feel like it was the water area, because
it was the one. Oh, yes. Yeah. Oh, I remember it now. It didn't just invert it. It flipped the whole screen upside down, and then you had to solve it.
It flipped at 180 degrees. It didn't just flip vertical. So the whole thing.
Right, the whole thing was upside down, and you had to get through it as a time challenge.
Do you remember how we ended up beating that?
I can't remember who it was. One of us hung. It was you. You hung off the bed to be upside down to get the game to do correct.
That's right. Yeah, we could have just inverted the TV. No, I decided to invert me.
Well, if we inverted the TV, the problem was I'm pretty sure it was an old tube TV.
No, it was a flat screen.
Was it a flat?
An older flat screen, but
yeah. It was an older. No, I think we got. It wasn't a monitor. It was officially a television. So if we were going to invert it, no, it was easier to invert the person. Jeff was upside down for a minute. He was fine.
And I did have to. I did have to resort to that in the last few minutes. There were 2 more platforms that I had to get to, and I got through the first few pretty not easily, but I did it pretty proficiently.
It was just the last little bit of parkour. But again, I loved. Now, if we're gonna talk about fond memories.
I want to hear one of your fond memories of this series, if you have any.
The problem is Vex is such a big game and such a cool idea game. I think one of the funnest. I'm gonna go by levels and areas.
Yeah,
the Giant's house.
That was a pretty cool.
The Giant's house, where they're this is an entire house. The floor is lava. The floor is lava. There's a dog down there. He'll eat you. Okay, that's a problem. And we designed the entire place to essentially hold an entire... this wasn't a side area that was you went to the Giant's house and there's going to be 2 hearts, 3 hearts, which is pretty standard for a lot of games where they show an idea, but it's only for 2 seconds. A great example is the level building for Sparrow Year the Dragon, Sheila. Her levels that are all just insanely vertical. Anyway.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. But no, they made an entire place where they're each part of the house is an entire star in Mario. And it's what? Yeah. You gotta go through the sink if you want one. You gotta go through the bookcase if you want another. You gotta go on the... Gosh, the ceiling fan.
Yeah, I don't know if we got that one.
We did.
Oh, did we?
It's the one that teeters.
I feel like
you'll remember it.
I feel like you must have done that one.
You have to get the pieces. And it's you have to get all 4 pieces, and each one's on a blade. But the blades all go every time you put weight on them. So I can't say I narrow it down to a specific time because honestly, I had a good time through the whole thing. Except the final boss. Yeah. The final boss I was just done with. Yeah. In which the funniest part is once we did the impossible, it was the easiest boss fight in history.
Yeah, it was
I just sat there and went.
Yeah, it was a 3-phase boss battle, and the hardest phase was definitely the second one, just because the guy did 2 hit points of damage if he touched you.
And the worst part was it wasn't as much as how punishing it was how difficult it was to predict his movements and the radius of his abilities. The radius. I almost feel like we should have looked up a guide that was hey, how do we actually dodge this guy? You know that one time when you performed the triple backflip? Yeah, that's what you got to do. Oh.
Well, after about 3 hours, we got it eventually. That aside from our live streams, that is the longest video, as far as I know, on Volatile Upgrade, is the super cut of the final boss fight. Because, I did chop it down to 20 minutes or so for the actual finale, but then we just thought there was so many great moments in, the super cut version.
There was
we uploaded the whole thing.
Oh my gosh, there were so many moments throughout it in which each of us were losing our mind.
Yep.
I love the part where I started talking about a completely different game.
I think you brought in your laptop and started playing Dead Island 2 or something.
Yeah, Dead Island 2. No, I think this is the first Dead Island. I don't own Dead Island 2.
Okay.
Probably the first that I take a look at the video and let us know in the comments. And for all those first time viewers.
But yeah, that was our actually one of the longer stream series on our channel. Is Vex. One of. There is one longer one. You're not going to guess it.
It's not yours?
Well, I mean,
it's not the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time.
That was a live stream series. Kind of harder to quantify that.
So, I mean, it's pretty easy to quantify.
Our longest Let's Play episodic playthrough was Yoshi's Woolly World.
Oh, God.
Mostly because it was like one level per episode, and then like between episodes we'd have to play the level again to find what we missed. So it was.
You should have done like an after hours in which you're going back through the level, and you guys are just saying whatever.
Honestly, that would have been pretty great.
This is my experience for the first time. Oh gosh, I have to deal with this again. Welcome to the after hours. And it's all in the same episode.
Oh, cute! That's yarn. There's a secret in the yarn.
That's why they want me to push it around.
That's where it was.
They want me to unravel the secrets. All right.
But speaking of our other series, I'm just going to quickly rattle through the
Go ahead.
The series that you were a part of, and maybe you can let me know any highlights you remember from.
I think the correct answer is not enough, Jeff.
Yeah, that would be correct. You were in.
Actually,
you were in a decent number. So
that sounds like 3.
So we co-hosted Vex together first.
Yep.
Then we did Kid Icarus on the NES.
I was there for a hot second. Oh no, I remember it.
No, you were there for the whole thing.
Oh, I remember, because what happened was in the beginning, it's the most painful game of your life. And then what? You get, 1 health upgrade?
Yeah, one health upgrade, and it makes a huge difference.
And the game was just...
Yeah.
And that really tells you
hard, but
the importance of difficulty scaling, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Then you hosted Ratchet and Clank with Chase. Then we played Super Smash Bros. For Wii U together on Black Friday.
I have so many good memories.
Super Mario 3D World was next. Sly Cooper and the Thievius Raccoonus. And then you made a guest appearance in Cuphead.
Guest appearance? Oh, I was there. I actually got some time off. So I was there for a level. I was there for the dragon level, wasn't I?
You were there for the whole time we were playing, but most of the time you were in Adam's bedroom playing League with Ty.
Right. I wasn't really. Yeah, I wasn't there super because it was I don't know.
But you came in every once in a while to interject and be like, this boss, I remember this guy. Have fun.
That was me. I was such a shit talker back then. I mean, I'm still a little bit of a shit talker. And that's definitely more reined in. As you watch the podcast, you'll notice my goofy, silly antics. This thing called peer pressure happened, and everything slowly got more and more reined in.
It's almost like we got older or something.
What?
But yeah, any of those stand out to you?
Yes. You said Ratchet and Clank. I tried to stop you, and then I realized you were going through them. I was like, stop. This is the greatest moment. This is the first time we were able to prove my brother wrong about something he tried to do take backsies.
Yeah,
and it's PDA.
Oh, I remember.
Personal display of affection. Personal display of affection.
PDA. Huh. Who was right with that?
Public display of affection.
Personal delivery assistant. If you're watching that first episode where I say that,
just put the clip in up on the side when he says that.
Yeah, I never contradicted you, so I don't
You did!
Yeah, you
Personal display of affection.
Yeah,
right. That can't be it.
No, I did not.
We'll watch
say,
the episode. Jeff will
didn't
comment.
say that
Jeff will
can't be
comment
it.
who is right now.
Why would you waste to kill 4 of them at once so I don't have to deal with them?
Because Daniel and ammo conservation are polar opposites.
Well, once we get the what's it called, the PDA or whatever. PDA.
Personal display of affection. Personal display of affection.
Oh, I forgot about that.
No, I never said that. Why would I say personal display of affection? That's stupid. And then we played the clip of him saying, mind you, for the longest time, my brother's secretly been gaslighting me because my brother hates being wrong. So whenever, and the worst part is I have a terrible memory. So he could effectively gaslight me for a long time. This was the first moment I had definitive proof that he was messing with all of us.
Oh, and it was so funny.
It was so funny and it was so justified because after that we just looked at Adam and went, You gonna stop it? You gonna stop doing that?
I gotta say, I forgot about that, and I'm so glad you remembered.
What do you mean remember? It was the first moment, like I said, we finally caught Adam back,
Caught Adam with his hand in the Mentos jar.
Oh, yes. Yes. Because he's done that to you a few times, where he was like, oh, I'll go do this. Adam, did you say you were going to go do this? Oh, I'd never say that. And then you just look at Adam like, am I going crazy? Bless his heart.
But yeah, Ratchet and Clank, that was a fun series. I think I was in the background for a few of those episodes. Mm-hmm. I tried not to intervene, mostly just because I'm like... You
were mainly on recording equipment, and you didn't want to...
Yeah, mainly what it was in those days especially, like, I envisioned our channel as being, like, equally hosted between all of us. And I wanted to make sure you guys had your series, but I was also there running the equipment. So,
right. No, I get that.
But yeah, that's how that one went. And I think there might have been... Oh, were there a couple episodes I wasn't there? I think there were. But that series, unfortunately, we lost the finale footage, if you remember.
And we had to read... Did we lose the footage or the audio?
I think it was all of it.
How did we lose all of it? I remember... Right, I remember the skit you did, where you're
Yeah.
It's not here. What?
It's not here, Chase. And then...
Well, Chase, I guess you gotta beat it all over again.
Yep.
And then you just slowly hand the controller. Yeah.
There you go.
I still don't know how we lost that footage after
that. Yeah, I'm definitely going to talk with Chase about that later because...
good.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. But, yeah, Ratchet and Clank, that was a good time.
Ratchet and Clank is a good time. Sly Cooper is a great game. For me personally, if anyone ever asked me who the PlayStation Titans are, it's Jak and Daxter, Ratchet and Clank, Sly Cooper. And what kills me to this day is, of the three, one survived.
Yep.
And Ratchet and Clank's doing phenomenal. Ratchet and Clank is so good because it's a gun game people can play that actually is PG, and it's fun, and it's silly, and it's not Call of Duty where you're sweating bullets because you got to be 0.4 seconds faster.
Yeah, I gotta say, Ratchet and Clank was one of the first games I played when I got my own PlayStation.
Right.
I've only played the original, and the reimagining. Those are the only two I've played so far.
Reimagining's fun. I recommend, if you really want one that's fun to really... There's two options. If you want one that takes its combat very seriously, Deadlocked is amazing. And then after that, the recent ones that have come out to explain the Lombax and Ratchet's storyline, God bless, they actually fleshed out his universe. Those ones are really fun. Those are really good. They feel kind of shallow, but that's probably because I played the third one to death. And the third one, if I had to say the third one's the best first single player experience you'll have. And it's so fun. In that game, in the third one, you will find a person who says, hey, your investment from many years ago, it panned out. You can now claim your interest. And you'll get, if you have the information that you have a Sly Cooper 1 game on your memory card, you'll, I think, get the Sly Cooper 1 outfit for free.
Oh, that's cool.
You'll just...
Nice.
And it recognizes it. And then you meet another guy. God, what was his name? My brain is saying Slim Shady. It's not Slim Shady. But
I don't know.
He lives in a tube in the third... Oh, you meet him in the second one, and he's your arms dealer. In the third one...
Slim Shady sounds like a good name for him.
If you have memory card information of the second game, when you go into the third one, this dealer will go, well, yeah, you Ratchet and Clank, yeah. I got a deal for you. And he gives you so these guns that he sells in 3 are from the second game.
Whoa.
Yes, the lava gun, and he gives 3 of them. I can't remember which one. I think it's lava gun, turret gun, and try to remember. There's a third one. But if you have the information and he knows it's you, he gives you the guns for free.
That's so cool.
Because they're your guns.
That is so cool.
He just hands them over and he goes, here you go, champ. Have a good time. And the third has the best weapon system. So,
well, let's get back to talking about the Volatile Upgrade stuff rather than Ratchet and Clank stuff.
I'm such a terrible game analyst.
No,
Sorry.
you're a great game analyst. It's just
I'm so
that's
sorry.
not what we're doing right now.
I do this as a hobby all the time.
I will say that most of the series that you were a part of, we streamed at your parents' house.
Yes.
And specifically Adam's room. There was one, though, that...
The carpet still remains. It still remains. No, did we change it out?
No, it's still there.
It's still the dreary dead green.
As far as I remember, yeah.
Whose carpet
Maybe not. I haven't been in there in a while.
They might have. No, I think we did change it probably 2 years ago.
Okay, yeah, I haven't been in there.
Because I remember walking in that room and it was an echo chamber, so I think we were changing the carpet.
Ah, okay.
Yeah,
well, anyway, all that is to say there was at least one series that we did not record in your older brother's bedroom. And it was Super Mario 3D World, which was at Mike's bachelor pad, if you remember.
Oh, I was Rosina.
No,
I was
you were
Peach.
Yeah, you were Peach, and then I think Tyler switched to Rosalina, actually.
Tyler was Rosalina, I was Peach, Michael was
Toad,
and you were...
just Mario.
And the worst part is you were outrunning all of us, because Peach has, like, the slowest movements. But in those boss fights,
yes,
what me and him pulled off for speedrunning is hilarious. Ready!
Wombo!
Wow.
This is very impressive.
Activate Wombo on this girl!
But yeah, that was a fun series. We actually had to squish that in like 2 or 3 recording sessions because you were going to Europe that summer.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
So we spent like from noon till like maybe 1 a.m.
Oh, we destroyed that series.
We did take one little break there. I think we were
hostages.
I think we were starting to get pretty stressed out or something like that, and we're just like, why don't we just go for a walk and like let the video like process.
It was partially that, but it was the fact that we did the thing to give us infinite lives. We were getting stressed out because we managed to burn almost all of our lives.
No, we went through all of them.
We went through all of them, and so we had to take a break. And when we took the break, we just left Jeff to just...
No, that's not what happened.
Set up the bounce.
It takes all of 5 minutes to get max lives, which is still like 1,110.
We went through all of them, Jeff.
Yeah, we did.
We went through all of them.
Then I had to get more.
And we didn't even finish the game.
We did.
Did we finish it before we ran out?
Yes, we did.
Okay.
We beat the hardest level that's probably ever been in Mario. What is it? Champions Road, I think is what they called it. I feel like that's what they must have called it. That's what it felt like anyway, Champions Road.
Champions Toad, if you ask me.
But before we did continue our recording session, I remember that we all walked down to the local baseball diamond and just like we climbed to the fence and got on top of the dugout and we're just like, yeah, this is so cool. You remember that?
Probably. I remember us going over the fence. I don't remember climbing on top of the dugout.
Yeah.
Wipe that memory from my mind.
For some reason, we thought we were like the coolest kids ever or something for climbing on top of the dugout. And
we are the coolest kids ever. Look at us.
We also took some like
this man has a wife. How cool is that? Someone actually
a wife and 2 kids.
He's multiplying. I'm sorry.
But we got up there and we took some pictures in the nightlight, like in the moonlight, I should say. We took some picturesque pictures, and then I remembered just how big my nose is. So when it was like the whole shadow look, like my nose just like stuck out of the shadow, and it's like, oh right, oh well, it was cool anyway.
the usual. Self-conscious Jeff.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, in his natural environment, just sitting there going, "Oh man."
It's my default state. Just oh man, I'm fat. I've got a dad bod, and I'm a little short. Whatever.
Again, like comment on this video. This is not that bad of a dad bod. He looks great. Me, on the other hand, I don't even have kids, and I have the dad bod. Life's hard.
Life is so unfair.
Life is so unfair. I don't even have a wife, but I have a dad bod.
Oh well.
But yeah, going through our series. So is that all of them?
That was all the ones that you were in. Yeah.
I was in. Yeah. So Ratchet and Clank was an amazing time. Sly Cooper on a personal level, really good game. Really sad they didn't keep making games after the third. It was an amazing game. But I will state, I think Sly Cooper really did pave the path forward for games in which we're seeing more and more of. Like, even Assassin's Creed, you could say, possibly got inspired.
I can see the parallel, yeah.
Yeah, of just sort of, sneaking and stealth being into a video game. Because before that point, it was all just go from point A to point B, have fun, and then we were in the age of weaponry, most games are, in which you go from point A to point B with a gun.
That complicates things.
And Sly was one of the first games that went, well, go from point A to point B, but avoid this.
And pickpocket where you can.
And pickpocket where you can. That was more the second game,
that's the one that's the one I played. I played that one on live stream with Adam later.
So good.
I did very much enjoy that one.
It has, hands down, the best overarching plot.
I can see that, yeah.
Because when you come to the final boss, mind you, the final boss is kind of poopy. I wish they did that area better. All the other areas in the game felt like you were learning the area. You were scoping it out.
It was really
on the airship, it was just like, 3, 2, 1, let's go. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, boss fight. And it's like, it's not even a boss fight. It's just a bird.
I still remember having fun with it, but like you said, not as strong as the other areas.
Yeah, no. It died. The second one kind of died on the ending. But
Sly Cooper 1, I don't know if you remember this, but that... Sure. Like, I had my call with Mike already a little bit behind the scenes, but we discussed how that was his...
I would say it's behind the scenes. It's going to be in this video.
It is, but later in the video.
Oh, okay. It's later in the video, guys.
Yeah, so...
Should I say fast forward to this number if you like him better than me?
But we were talking about how that was his first appearance on Volatile Upgrade and how he was not a founding member. We kind of adopted him into our group.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember that? You kind of joined partway through that series?
Yes. We did adopt it, but it's mainly me and Mike got closer as friends at that time. And it was mainly just, hey, you want to do something fun? Let's do recordings. Let's go do this. You want to participate? You said yes? Okay, join the wagon.
If I remember right, he was already doing his own YouTube stuff, but he eventually joined our Band of Thieves. See what I did there? Band of Thieves. Sly Cooper title.
I'm going to thievius raccoonish your butt out of my apartment. No, it's a good one, Jeff.
That was cool. I enjoyed bringing him on, but what was that like recording with you, Tyler, Michael, all switching the controller off?
What was it like? You can probably hear in the recordings what it was truly like. It was honestly just us, 3 guys, having a reason to come together and hang out and just enjoy, honestly, our company and just have something to talk over and really, enjoy. Because for the most part, when we don't... So, of the 3 of us, we're all kind of objectively based mentally. Mm-hmm. So if we don't have a reason to really come together, we really didn't see, like it's one of those things where going over to hang out with someone was one of those things where it's like, okay, we're going to hang out and do something, right? We're not going to go hang out and just stare at each other, right, Jeff? Stare at each other, get paid for it. Maybe might get paid for it, depending how merciful you are.
We would need another 700 subscribers to meet that threshold.
No way, 700. Jesus.
Yeah, you need 1,000 subscribers to be monetized.
No wonder everything is so clickbaity on YouTube.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I played this game. You're never gonna believe what happened.
Honestly, I can only do that joke seriously if it's a Kirby game. And you know why? Because you finally played a Kirby game. It was
I've played a few of them at this point.
What was it? The mech one?
I played Planet Robobot on my own channel.
Planet Robobot,
yes.
Yeah, on your own channel. And you got to experience what I experienced in Kirby games.
It's like, no, you guys, you really won't believe what happened.
It's one of the things where it's like, don't worry, Kirby was out for a walk, and then a bad man took his cheesecake. We gotta go stop him. And then you turn around, you're seeing Kirby in a battle mech fighting a planet in order to save the world, and you're sitting there going, what's going on? And then the battle mech, what was it, took over the moon? Yeah. So you had to blow up a moon? And you're sitting there going...
And then it turned out that the moon was like that, what was that entity that was like this giant like stopwatch? I forget his name, but that was a cool.
Every Kirby game has a different feeling.
Ant Dude put it best. Like what you're kind of describing here is, and Ant Dude phrased it like this. He's like, you start the game with someone stealing Kirby's cake, and by the end you're fighting God.
So when you made that comment, I just thought of, guys,
You're not going to believe this. No, seriously.
You're not going to believe it. It's a Kirby game. Every other game, it's like, oh, we're an assassin. We're going to avenge our family. Yay. And sometimes they put in a twist, and you're like, ooh, spicy. But every time you play a Kirby game, you walk away going,
well, that was an experience.
Anyway.
Unfortunately, you and I never did Kirby. We streamed a couple Kirby games, Adam and I did, and Tyler joined for one of the episodes.
We never did Kirby.
We never did.
No, did we do Epic Yarn?
Adam and I did Epic.
Oh! The worst part is I teamed up with Adam, and me and him first played it. That's why he was brave enough to do it.
Yeah, because he'd been down that track before. It was fun, but yeah, I'd say that's one of my regrets is you and I never did a Kirby game. And there's a ton of them.
Guess what's coming later this year, ladies and gentlemen?
Not on this channel.
On Jeffrey's channel. Maybe if me and Jeffrey and my channel, if I get my channel up and running, I probably should. Me and Jeff could team up and we could do a.
You know what I've wanted to do with you for a while on one of our live streams?
Please tell me. Oh, go ahead.
Finishing Vex. 100% completing Vex.
You do realize it's like the only things left is the hardest level, right?
I do.
Oh,
we barely touched that one.
Do we still have the PlayStation? Do we still have the game? Do we still have the PlayStation?
Honestly, what I would probably do is just emulate the GameCube version.
Is that one better than the PlayStation version?
It looks better.
It looks better. It's got more polygons.
Because the GameCube technically was a little more powerful than the PlayStation 2.
The cute elf girl has better.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no! That's a memory I didn't want uncovered.
The worst part was at the beginning, it was like, oh, she's nice. And then she shapeshifts into a monster, and you're just like...
Not exactly what I was thinking, but...
Oh, what were you thinking?
I think you could guess.
There's a YouTube skit. I don't know how to credit him. Maybe I shouldn't say it, because then you'll have to go find it.
Oh, I don't.
But you know what I'm talking about? It's Final Fantasy. When they're talking about Tifa, and Cloud's over there going, and then touches her chest, and he gets stabbed. He's like, oh, that hurt. And she's just like, yeah, they're pointing.
Oh, watch out for those pointy bits. I don't want to do that anymore because of the low poly.
So what am I doing now in my life? Or
yeah, I forgot to ask you that. Where are you at these days? What are you up to?
Well,
I mean, don't tell me your physical location. I'll have to bleep that out.
Totally homeless. Then
where the heck are we?
Get out of my apartment.
It took me an hour to set up these lights and microphones and cameras.
Dude, that'd be awesome if someone came just...
What are you doing in my house?
So, yeah, I do have my own apartment at beep, 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 beep. And,
it took me a while to get here, I'll tell you that.
I work as a... Oh, so much editing. I work at a children's home for the abused. I do believe in one of my podcasts, I probably talked about it, because I've been at that job for 7 years. Can you believe that, Jeff? No, I can't either.
7 years?
I'm one of the.
I'm just like, oh yeah, 7. Wait a minute.
I'm one of the senior night shift. There's only 2 people that outrank me on overnights, Jeff.
What the heck?
I'm the senior. Everyone else is below me.
What in the world? Well, you've climbed that chain. Or climbed that ladder. Wow, I'm mixing analogies.
Climb the chain, everybody.
It works, just not as well.
You gotta shimmy like.
Well, how's that going?
Oh, good. Night shifts are fun and very rewarding. It's a very dutiful job. You very much have a reason to be there. You have a reason to do what you do. It's not something that's just like, well, it's a cardboard box. I don't have to. Oh, so what if there's 2 inches less tape on it, holding it together. It's very much you're trying to help and give another chance to people that don't have a chance. And you're essentially their second chance.
I gotcha.
And yeah, it can be a lot. I am thinking of going back into the field to honestly try to get possibly a better degree or get more certifications to go for a, honestly, in today's world, don't feel bad anybody, but a higher paying job. The higher paying job where I can do more and help more people. What happened, Jeff?
Oh, your phone is full.
Yeah, I had a feeling. All the others are probably fine.
Well, I guess we'll just use... Yeah, I guess...
Oh, Daniel, your phone is full. Dan, what's on your phone?
Don't ask questions you don't want answers to.
I was lonely.
Alright, well, that's okay. We'll just use...
That was just the other two. Angle. I'll just stare into this camera instead. Hi, Jeff, don't copy me. Now we're looking like an old, what was it, like a 1990s like sitcom? Hi, kids.
Well, howdy do. Alright, well, yeah, it sounds like you're doing all right for yourself these days.
I love how you could sense something was wrong. You're like, stop, I have to check. Yeah, no. Still doing it, still working overnights, which is one of the main reasons the channel really hasn't rebooted. I'm one of the most we can do it, people. I work the one day, the one job that makes me awake when everyone else is asleep.
Yep.
So I can't coordinate
your shift
anything.
Is 11 p.m. to 7:30 a.m.-ish?
Yep. You got it.
Nice.
It's that midnight run. To which it took... I think if you want to talk about a funny story in my life, it took my mother about 2 years to understand that I'm sleeping during the day. Like, she would wake me up and be like, hey, Dan, can you help me with this, that, and this? And I'm like...
I guess I don't need sleep today.
Bless her heart.
Honestly, it's a miracle that you were able to get together with me today. We're at 4 p.m. right now, so...
Funny enough, you walked into my life at the funniest time. I just got cleared for a week-long vacation.
Oh, nice. Perfect timing.
The first vacation of the year.
And we're at the end of the year.
Yeah. I couldn't get cleared for a vacation till right this moment, because I need to burn my PTO before we get to the next year.
Woof.
Yeah. If you're looking at it going, oh, God. Yeah, Jeff. Yeah, it was that bad.
Wow.
We were down that many people. We had, best way to describe it, we have 4 facilities we have to keep track of. Okay? 4 facilities. We have to have a person in each one, and a float, usually a 5th person in case someone wants to use the bathroom or whatnot. We had 6 people.
Ouch. All hands on deck. Literally. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds it sounds crazy. But I'm glad that you're doing well. You're holding down a steady job, very steady job.
What do you mean, very steady job? I've only been there for
7 years, and they clearly need you. You're not going anywhere.
Hopefully.
Well, until you want to.
Until I want to, exactly.
That's the thing. They're not letting you go.
Night shift's a really cool job because you truly have the freedom to do anything you want to do. It just took me, I'm going to be honest, about 6 years into that night shift to finally go, you know what? I get to decide what I want to do. Why am I waiting for someone else to? Honestly, I think that's just how I was raised. I was kind of raised into the fact that, don't worry, someone else will decide my fate. I work night shift. There is no one else to decide my fate. Oh no. Anyway.
So to get back to the volatile upgrade stuff, so you weren't really... Okay, moving past the episodic playthroughs we did, Adam and I hosted a lot of live streams together. We've done a total of 126 live streams on this channel.
I think he was just lonely.
Well, honestly, he seemed to have a good time, and I'm glad he joined for that. And
to be honest, before you, it was me who he was having a live stream. AKA him sitting and watching me play games, and then telling me how to play games.
So,
anyway,
quickly going back to the live streams for a second, you actually did partake in a couple of them.
How'd that happen?
So what happened was
Thanksgiving.
There was a time when you were doing your training for your current job, and you ended up spending a week or maybe a month at our place.
Yep.
And I think that you ended up being in one of the live streams due to that fact.
Just like 6 years ago. 7. Weird. Training for my job. I wonder how long ago that Jeff looks 7 years ago.
Let's see. It looks like you tuned into... you were there for the finale of The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask.
Yep.
And I don't know if this is accurate or not, but it's in my spreadsheet. You were in one of the episodes of Uncharted Drake's Fortune.
Yes.
I didn't remember that. Can you tell me a little bit about how that happened?
You want me to tell you how that happened? I do believe what happened was, it was usually circumstances like that. I'm guessing it was just I had multiple days off. I was in the neighborhood. You were in the neighborhood. So all of us were together-ish. And so we all just went... And we grouped up. Like, honestly, I could come visit you every weekend if you wanted me to. Because that's what my job's giving me Mondays off. I could just, on a Sunday, just be like, hey, Jeff, how's it going? You have dinner made? Oh, good, I'll have some dinner. Anyway.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Sounds like it could be fun sometime.
That'd be fun.
But
but I'm guessing what happened was, my brain is thinking possibly a Black Friday or possibly I got dragged along with my brother because I had a couple days off. I was at home. And I was like, sure, I'll just come with Adam. And it was one of those situations. What the exact situation is, go back to the video. And I'll probably be like, and then there's your
I'll have
information.
to go back and watch,
It might not even be there, but that's my guess. That's how I get roped into random podcasts.
Well, those were some fun live streams. Like I was really happy to show you the ending of Majora's Mask. I remember talking it up a whole bunch, and then I got to show it to you. And that was pretty cool.
I still love the Majora's Mask theory. Still one of the coolest theories. I wish we would do
the one
more
where Link is dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish we would have more games that are ambiguous, so those were the situations we ask ourselves. Like, it's vague enough that we're just like, is this real? Because in today's...
It does kind of keep the game alive, like, well past its shelf life.
What it does is it really makes something memorable, and it makes you invest in it to sort of figure out the secret of the lore. Like, nowadays, you look at newer games, and the newer games like, oh yes, this is our lore. Would you like some cheese? You put it on top. And you're like, you just sit... Put my snacking cheese away. Don't look at the cheese. It's mine. And was that actually one of the tastings over there that I cut for you?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that's the buttery cheese, right?
This is very buttery.
It's very buttery. Would you like to tell the audience what cheese you're eating? Or no?
It's just some kind of cheddar, right?
It's right. It's that block.
This one?
Yes, on the bottom. There you go. That's the name. Nope, that's the name. Correct.
Fromage de Jacques. It's 100% cow's milk.
Oh, gosh. Why are you giving it to me? Put it back.
Imported from Switzerland.
Correct.
That's all I got on there. Swiss cheese.
Without it being Swiss.
Without it being Swiss cheese.
Without it being Swiss cheese.
I don't know my cheeses. I just know it tastes yummy.
Well, now you do know, because you just read off what the cheese was. Just in case
fromage de Jacques.
In case people are curious. Gosh, this is why we used to talk about doing a podcast together or streaming together, because, oh my gosh, we don't stop when we start talking.
Oh yeah, we can't shut up once we get started.
We play off each other very well.
That makes for excellent commentary.
I was going to say content. You think I'm only for commentary? I wanted to force it.
You know, speaking of times when we couldn't shut up, we hosted a podcast together.
Oh, we did.
You, I think, actually... Oh, there was only one that you missed, and that was one that Henry and I did together.
Correct.
You were in the other 11 of them.
And of the 11, I remember the gaming we talked about. There was one episode where we started talking about gaming, and I was like, and I pulled up charts. I forget what it was for. Was it grossing income or?
Oh, that was.
Which the whole.
I know which one you're talking.
Half the podcast was me just going, "Oh yes, this one's on the chart. This one's on the chart."
If I remember right, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that was episode 3, which was pay to play versus free to play.
Correct, and we were talking about. Was it profits or audience? I can't remember what the numbers were. I
think it was more just a broad discussion of what we thought of it.
And, we were talking about... Was it the third episode?
I think so. I mean, that's the pay-to-play versus free-to-play.
And we did talk about that, and I think what's really funny is today in the community, free-to-play is the way to go compared to pay-to-play. Well, and then it also comes down to what you mean by pay-to-play. But I know you mean buy a game to play the game.
Yeah,
not
pay $60, you have the game. More or less these days.
We don't talk about Diablo Immortal.
Don't you guys like phones?
Don't you guys like phones?
Do you guys not have phones?
Yeah. Come on, guys. Don't you want to open up the secret shop to spend $200 on a weapon upgrades?
Ooh. Did you have a particular favorite podcast that we did?
The one I really invested in was a lot of fun. A lot of the podcasts, I kind of just sat in the background and offered my 2 cents, but it was really everyone's show, so I really didn't have a moment to really ramble to infinity, if you will. So I enjoyed the podcasts. At the same time,
What can I say? Jacques has good cheese.
It's a Wegman. If you would like to stop at Wegmans and pick yourself up a slice for you to munch on when you get home, you can. It's like a $6 cheese.
Honestly tempting.
I mean, there's Wegmans all around you. Just buy a cheese and honestly, if you take a picture of it and then just go to a Wegmans, you can do that.
Oh, I'm sure I can find it. But anyway,
of the podcasts, for me, the podcasts were kind of on and off because usually I was working at the time, so I'd sort of tune in, do the podcast, and then immediately book it to work.
That's right.
11 to 7. And because of that, it kind of... Best way to describe it is I got a little jaded in the podcasts. But also, some of those podcasts I really didn't have much to talk about. I mean, what's some of the topics for the podcast?
See here.
Because that one I have a huge amount of opinions on. So that one I was able to...
D-Makes and D-Masters was definitely the one you guys had the least opinion on. In fact...
That one I didn't even talk.
Well, it was mostly me talking.
Now, D-Makes and Remasters, we have a huge thing to talk about because the Game Awards this year, what the major company did.
Which major company?
It was the major game ranking company. I don't know how to describe it. But anyway, they're doing their Game of the Year awards. And all the games that were up, first of all, were all AAA or console games. Okay, sure. They didn't branch off in any direction until they reached the puzzle category, in which there was just nothing there. But my favorite part was for Game of the Year in this. I think it was my brain says EA, but one of the nominees for Game of the Year was Elden Ring, the DLC expansion.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Have you heard about that?
Yes.
In which it's just hold on.
Can you really have DLC? At least it didn't win.
No. But it's we need to nominate it for something. I'm nominate it for best DLC.
There you go.
Crazy idea. But
I wouldn't have thought of that.
What was even funnier was Final Fantasy VII. It was potentially Game of the Year. And I'm sitting there
well, it's Final Fantasy VII Part 2.
Exactly. Which it was an entirely different game. It played the same. But the storyline went, in which it's a really cool story. It's not the greatest. It's one of those things where it's you came for a lore sandwich, but you still have to walk up the staircase to get to the sandwich, and you gotta get all comfortable.
Getting back to the podcast discussion here.
Please do.
There was one that you and I ended up hosting together after Henry dipped.
After Henry said,
yeah, he just
can't say that on YouTube. So sorry.
You can. It's been more than 10 minutes.
Oh, that's the.
I think so. It doesn't matter. So, the final episode of the Gaming Corner podcast. How does nostalgia influence our gaming habits? We ended up being the only 2 hosts after the first hour and a half, or after the first hour-ish. I don't know, but we talked quite a bit on that one.
That was such a good conversation.
It was.
That was such a... I wish we did more podcasts. Honestly, we were running out of ideas. And
I beg to differ. I still had a good 30 ideas left.
Well, you want to start the podcast back up? We're not going to start the YouTube channel because apparently it's dead.
It's been dead for 3 years. We're just we're just giving the eulogy now.
Hold on, I got a trombone in back. Let me play something.
All right, well, it sounds like the podcasts weren't your favorite thing. More like your shining moments were Ratchet and Clank and Sly Cooper.
Yeah. The nostalgia, you said the nostalgia podcast, that made me had a flashback. I was like, oh. That was just a good, both you and me, we had such deep nostalgia. That was such a good topic.
Yeah, like we kind of talked about like each other's favorite games and how much of it is based on nostalgia. Mm-hmm. And I remember your analogy about like how Mario 64 players look at the rest of the 3D Mario games and you're like, oh, this Mario Odyssey is great, but it's not the golden bird. This is Mario 64.
It's true.
And I remember being like, Dan, in your weird Daniel way, you made a good point.
Because a lot of people were like, I liked Mario 64 because when you get good at it, you can learn how to speed run. You can learn how to do challenge runs. You can perform tricks. You can use the limitations of the
skill ceiling
system.
is ridiculously high.
Well, the funny part is the skill ceiling was actually, best way to describe it, the skill ceiling was like on the middle floor of a 10-story building. The player base and the dedication of the fan base took it to the 9th, 10th floor. Because there's tech in the games that's just like, the game's so stable, you can get away with a lot of stuff. But, someone figured this out.
Yeah.
My favorite part is, side note, one of my favorite parts is when people were, using emulation to figure out the most efficient way to, break a couple Mario Kart, like, early Mario Kart games where they're like, if you slide perfectly at this 32-degree angle into this polygon, the cart will jump over, hit the checkpoint, and then you can go to the final flag, and it will be officially a 12-second lap.
There are some crazy strats in Mario Kart 64, I'll say that.
Yeah.
But anyway. Yeah, I guess that's pretty much the run-through of your involvement on the channel. Is there anything that you would have changed if you could go back and change it? Or if you had the chance to do it over again, what would you have done differently?
Well, first, if I had a time machine, I'd probably go back in time and tell myself, invest in the stock market, invest in Bitcoin, and then...
Then we wouldn't be sitting here. We'd be in our lavish mansions.
I wouldn't be in a mansion. I'd just probably be in a... Well, no.
You'd have a lavish VR setup. That's what you'd have. Back
in the day, I would have been in a decently lavish mansion. Now that I've gotten older, I've discovered what happiness is and just what being comfortable is. Now I would simply be like, like a 2-3 story house, nothing suspicious, but it definitely has 2 to 3 secret rooms. Like we're talking secret bookshelf. You pull a statue, a staircase appears that goes into a basement. Like, if I had money, I definitely would have like cool secret rooms like that.
But what would you do differently on Volatile Upgrade if you were to have a time machine and do it again?
If I could do it again. Well, first of all, Volatile Upgrade, I think, was just a really good project that really had us keep meeting up and we kept saying hi to each other. So that, I wouldn't change a good chunk of Volatile Upgrade in its origins and what it became and where it went. I really think I could have... it's hard. It's always hard to go back and reminisce on what could have been. I could have done more for the channel. I could have done this or that. But at the end of the day, it was just what it is. It is. And now it's no more. To go back and change it, really, it wouldn't do much. What it was important. And I think that symbol still stands for both you and me, honestly. Because it was our project. And honestly, it got you into like the electrical engineering and programming scene.
No, but that definitely got me more into the content creation scene.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. This was like the Volatile Upgrade was like the gateway drug.
It wasn't a gateway drug per se. It was a gateway.
Yeah, it was my gateway to content creation.
Yeah. I wouldn't call it a drug. You didn't fall into it and you're like, I need 10 more videos. I can't feel anything.
Oh man.
Oh shoot! I gotta stare at this camera. Ha ha ha. Okay.
So your answer is pretty much you'd leave it pretty much as it is. You're pretty happy with how it is.
I'm pretty happy. What I would change is more things with myself if I had a time machine.
Okay.
It's one of those situations where it's like, Volatile Upgrade isn't the problem. It was me. I'm the problem. It's me. Hi, I'm the problem. It's me. That's a great song. Oh gosh, are we demonetized now?
Definitely not. But yeah, that's a pretty solid answer, and I'm glad that you enjoyed your time on the channel.
I mean, I wouldn't. It was like
It was a good time.
it was every day was just a party every time we recorded. It was never a moment where we were like, oh, we had to record, because we would always be like, you know what? We're bored. It's summer. Let's add something to the channel. It was one of those like side.
The summer
side
times are like our premier time to do recordings.
Exploded.
Like I swear, 90% of the I can't say 90%. That's a very high number. 70% at least of the episodic playthroughs were recorded in the summertime.
Yeah.
Because that's just when we all had time. Like college was out, or at the very beginning, high school was out. Like again, I stress, our first recording session, me and you, Vex, was on your graduation night, and then we came back after graduation and recorded more.
Yeah. Oh, we had so much fun. We were like,
We did.
oh, this will be our grad party. Yeah, that's right. We didn't do drugs. We didn't have girlfriends.
We played Vex.
We played.
And
we didn't have a princess. We chose to save the world.
take that as you will. All right, Dan. Well, the page of Volatile Upgrade is officially being turned as we speak. But
You're choosing a weird analogy.
we're in the middle of the video.
No.
I can't say the book is closed yet.
I would say the book is. We are closing the book.
We're closing the book on
We're not
Volatile
turning the page.
Upgrade.
Volatile Upgrade is not going to its next chapter.
No,
It's not evolving.
We're closing the book on Volatile Upgrade now.
Although, if Volatile Upgrade becomes the Frank and Astro show, and we just have videos of those two puppies,
So,
that'd be an evolution.
but you're still doing stuff on the internet. Where are you on the internet these days?
Months.
It
Sorry.
Okay.
When you say that, so
all right, fair enough.
I do have a Twitch streaming, and I do believe it's Dance Warrior 777. Correct?
Yes.
Okay, thank goodness.
How do I know this? And
Well, it's because because I've had time off. I've been analyzing a ton of games, and I have like different parts of my life. I had different usernames, and so Dance Warrior 777 is like the latest one that I stuck with, and I'm like, it's me. I'm the Dance Warrior. That's just who I am. Before that was Drake Shadow. You remember that?
Yep.
And then some accounts were just like just Dan 777.
But Dance Warrior 777 is your current iteration.
Correct. Dance Warrior 777. I should do more Twitch. I always say I'm going to do more Twitch, and then I stop. Mainly what I have to do, I think, is just learn how to pace. Because when I stream, you've seen it. I do it like a 10-hour streamathon. And then it's like, why don't you want to do it the next day?
Yeah.
You gotta sleep.
Yeah, pacing and scheduling, I think. I do Friday night streams starting after my kids go to bed. So, like, there's just always that one set time, and I go for a certain amount of time that's like, I shoot for 3 hours. Sometimes it's 3.5. Sometimes it's 2.5. 3's the target.
Gotcha.
I think
that's fair.
I think that's a good way to, like, keep from burning out. And it doesn't help that, like, that's my only time to play video games these days.
No, I don't think it's like...
I can squeeze
I don't
it
think
in.
it's a bad thing. I think scheduling time for yourself is a very healthy thing to do.
Yeah, what I mean is, like, I don't get burned out as much because I don't get a chance to play video games during the week. So, like, Friday night comes around stream time, I'm like, yes, finally, I get to play video games.
I mean, that's the problem with being an adult. You gotta schedule your own happiness.
and furthermore, a parent, I gotta let my kids have a turn with the TV most of the time.
I love the part. I think so we're gonna talk about Black Friday this year. We have a Black Friday party every year. So don't worry about it. I think one of the funniest parts was me casually telling you were over there. You let what was his name? God bless your boy. JJ. You let him play your new game. And the entire time, poor Jeff, he wants to play the game so bad. He's like, JJ, this is what you gotta do. JJ, I'm like, no, Jeff. Let him learn.
I'm like, JJ, can I do this part for you?
No, Jeff. Let him learn. And honestly, he had a good time with it.
Oh, yeah.
But it taught him a very valuable lesson, which is you do have to problem solve, JJ. You can't just hand it off to someone else and go, they'll figure it out.
Well, I mean, it doesn't help that he can't read yet.
Yeah, but
honestly, he did a good job figuring out like the battles and all that. That was pretty cool to watch.
He didn't do a single special attack for a solid.
Well, no, but
until someone showed him.
What I mean more is like he figured out the enemy's attack patterns and avoided them.
Yeah. Oh, he got really good at dodging. Yeah, no, I agree with that.
He just didn't know how to hit the multiple buttons for the actual attacks.
So.
But Dance4777, are you still doing streams, or are you gonna get back to it, or?
You know what? Now I gotta stream. You know what? We're gonna get back.
It's peer pressure at its finest. Folks.
It's peer pressure at its finest. Jeff is saying I have a shot.
Honestly, like,
you know what we gotta do? We gotta go back to the old. Well, no, I should probably pick one that's more fun to watch because I keep picking the one game. Jeff remembers this because I streamed it probably for like 4 months.
Don't tell me. The Long Dark?
Yeah, you got it. It's such a good game. Like, for what it is, it's such a fun story to tell people, but it does not pull the crowd. If people don't know what The Long Dark is, they just look at you and they go, You're playing a snowy survival game. Uh-huh. How's this different from 7 Days to Die? Well, you see, it's cold. But no, if I had to explain, what I love about The Long Dark is you only have one shot. If your character dies, congratulations. We're restarting the run, and the whole thing's hardcore mode. Objects of interest are disgustingly far apart, and it could take, like, one of my favorite things is setting up a base where you move all the resources into one place. Well, then when you go to move, cool, you have hundreds of pounds of stuff, so either you're going to crawl along the ground like a snail, or you're going to take one batch of tools to the new location, which could be 2 to 3 miles away. Mind you, during this whole time, you have to find food, water, supplies, stay warm during the entire transfer process, and then you have to figure it all out. And it's a game all about just sort of preparing and seeing how long you can last. And another thing I love about it is it's one of the few survival games that has a skill tree system that levels up the longer you've been in the game and surviving for. Mm-hmm. So yeah, there is less food, but my fishing skill is level 6, and I'm super proficient at fishing.
Well, yeah.
So there's that.
Well, honestly, I don't know. Like, play what you like and be passionate about it, and I'm sure someone will find it.
You say this, but you've seen my game analyst list, right?
No.
The 872 games.
You mean your Steam wish list?
No, that's my library now.
Oh, but you
want to know what my wish list is?
Oh, wow.
I can tell you. It's 2,751. I looked at it the other day. I told you, Jeff, if I see a bad game, on the wish list.
That's right.
See a good game? On the wish list. The only thing not on the wish list are sports games.
I do remember you saying that in the podcast.
Some racing even entered the wish list. Also, did you hear they're coming out with a Genshin Impact GTA? There's a Grand Theft Auto Genshin Impact coming out, in which you have cars, you can drive around, and then you jump out and Genshin Impact.
What?
Yeah,
sure.
people are excited for it.
Okay.
Not a sponsor. Don't know the name.
Not a sponsor. Not a sponsor.
Jeff, don't hit these people with the sponsor. They'll never survive.
What was it that we said in Kid Icarus? We had an intro where we were like, oh, we called each other some weird name and we just went with it.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Jack and Spicer. I'm so close.
Yeah, Jack and Spencer.
Jack and Spencer.
And welcome back to another episode of Jack and Spencer.
Welcome back, guys.
Well, I'm Jack.
I'm Spencer.
That was such a good bit because Jeff you never saw it coming, and I was just like, we need to switch it up.
Just rolled with it.
We need to switch it up. And honestly, that was a very fun moment. Oh my gosh. So many great moments.
Well, thank you for getting together to talk about our walk down memory lane of Jack and Spencer.
Yeah, Jack, Spencer, and Vex.
Yep, that was the third member we never mentioned, but
it's you and me and you and us and our friend Steve and our friend Vex.
But yes, no, seriously, this has been a great walk down memory lane. Thanks for getting together with me.
No, you can always. I mean, you know where I live. You can always come over. And
I know where you live now. But you're not safe. You're never safe.
I mean, if you just arrive when I'm awake. I don't want to open my eyes and just see a Jeffrey on top of me and just be like, "Hey, you got any more of that cheese?" Yeah, Jeff, it's in the fridge.
Let's go to the Italian restaurant.
You
know what I like.
You know what I should do? I should steal you. But I should drive to your place, steal you, and we go to
name of restaurant
Mac and Cheese Bar.
Oh, that could be fun.
In which I told you, Mac and Cheese. Well, that gives away our location. Should we bleep that out?
Yes.
Well, technically they're a franchise, but still, it's a franchise. Someone could find us.
Yeah.
Anyway, but a Mac and Cheese Bar, if you will.
It sounds good. Yeah, let's do it sometime. But in the meantime, Dan.
Anyway,
I've had a lot of fun.
Nope.
I hope you've had fun.
Didn't I just say that? What?
But I gotta go. We got more people to talk to. Thanks, Danny.
The good news is he's never gonna change.